write JAM, they wait about 1 year or 2 years before they get admission to school. So during this time, they are not gainfully engaged. So what we do is we bring them on board to our hub and we train them. About 50 of them. We take 50, 100 sometimes. Train them for 6 months. Now, because we work in a rural environment, that's in Badagry area, parents are usually very often skeptical about digital skills. They think we want to teach their children to be young boys and stuff. So the first thing we do is to actually organize a parent summit. So yes, so we get the parents to come. When they come, we teach them we expose them to digital skills, and we tell them how the small businesses they're doing can actually be better maximizing the digital space. So from there, we tell them about their kids, about their children, and gives them that rest of mind to release their children to us. So when we train them, one of the things we do is we train them for about 6 months, a period of 6 months, to learn how to code and how to program. Then we deploy them to schools around. We have relationships with all the proprietors because sometimes in the public schools, the bureaucracy that comes in can be very, very challenging. So we deploy them to schools as ambassadors. So we have clubs across the schools that meet every Thursdays.
I am a STEM advocate. I also run similar programs where I train girls how to code. So my question is, I would like to know what you're doing in order to bridge the digital gap. That is talking about digital inclusion, how you're getting more girls into technology, and if you can do it in figures, I'll be happy. Thank you.
I think we should not overload the tech community. We, as individuals, NGOs, we can do something in our own right. Yesterday, John Dada mentioned that we should start from what is available and affordable in our community. For example, I run a community project for adult learners. So I use my phone to record class and make the women listen, and I see how much they are enthusiastic about learning. So I think we should stop pushing pressure on those fields that are doing. We should also look for existing structures around us to help these people. Then my question again is, why do organizations only partner with other organizations? What I mean is that I've been trying to get some people to partner with me to do some projects in that community where I'm selling, and the response I've gotten so far has been discouraging. They said they cannot partner with a core member. So if a core member has the idea now that she's selling, and she doesn't have any more that she has left, who is going to take up that idea?
I think for me, I always say one thing, and this is what I have noticed. I tell parents, particularly these two parents, I want to say smartphone is different from computer, and that is what many people don't really understand. When you tell them to bring, especially the influential one, you tell them to bring their children, they'll say, well, my child can operate phone, but we see what is happening during JAM. So we should always encourage them to bring these children to learn beyond just operating the smartphone. That is one. And when they talk about the issue of online learning, I serve at National Open University of Nigeria, and that was when I was exposed to it. Nigeria, we have not gotten to that stage. People are doing it, some of us are taking courses online, but we still need that physical learning. We haven't gotten to that stage. Coding, computer, digital world is too complicated for you to just say you want to learn everything virtually.
Okay, learning technology is tough. Okay, it's a very tough one. Like, especially somebody who is coming into that space for the very first time. Like, you just go there, they tell you to install something, and you just install and you are confused. Like, you become more confused than when you install that software. Okay, so you don't even know where to start. Okay, so I think, it's okay, we can encourage people to do stuff within their space or their communities, but then if they could reach out, I like the idea of reaching out. Reach out to communities, like, we are working on these things, can we have somebody, just one person to come and inspire, inspire the kids, tell them this is what to do, this is what to do, can just be the game changer. Okay, and to your question around getting companies to partner with you, okay, I tend to be very much can give a clear answer to your question. You see, the thing is, companies are in for business, okay? So while they have corporate social responsibilities, and even the corporate social responsibilities they do, there's a way they do it such that Like, it's a win-win for them. So whichever way you look at it, they do a corporate social responsibility. Sometimes you see them spend so much money beautifying a roundabout. Do you get it? They spend so much millions just to beautify Allen roundabout. That same money can be put in to help somebody to learn something. But from a business sense, it makes more sense to do that because people tend to see their brand on that roundabout because it's a central point for people to see, oh, XYZ is the one that beautified this thing. Whereas if you actually put some money to do that, like nobody really gets to know it, something like that. So they are really biased about what's in for me. Okay, I have actually made contact with companies to get stuff done, but they keep telling you that, look, we may not be able to support now. We are sorry about this. It's not really them, but then they are looking for more value to compensate for whatever they are doing. So while that is a challenge, but trust me, over time they'll get to see these things. Like somewhere in the US, some of these big companies actually support. They have the big fund they will support, okay, and they don't even want anything. Yeah, they want something in return, but not something ridiculous, okay. But what you can do, if I would advise, is that if you could come up with a stronger value proposition. For example, if I want to organize a meetup or something and I want a company to come on board, I bring that value proposition and tell you that, look, I'm having talents come on board. So it's a pool of talent for you. So come and pick people who have expertise within. So while you are giving me your space and you're giving me some money to facilitate things, you're also having the opportunity of getting the best brain, which if you spend, $1,000 to do advert and campaign to request for people to apply for that job, you might not even get the right person at the end of the day. So if you have a stronger value proposition, forgive their buyers, they are in for business, okay? So, but if you have a more value proposition, keep hitting on the door, keep knocking on the door. One of them might eventually open.
Globally, we've impacted 18,000 different women across the globe. Specifically for Africa, Nigeria, I wouldn't say Nigeria, but specifically for Africa, the last time I know we did a count, we had gotten, I think we had impacted about close to 2,000 girls within Africa. And this is not all the countries in Africa. This is majorly Ghana, Nigeria, Namibia, South Africa, Kenya, yes. A few countries in Africa. Because the workshops are not designed, and I know they're very tempting to say, oh, we've impacted 10,000 girls. I think we just started, it's been 2 years since we started in Africa. But also, we organize the workshops more for impact than numbers. We organize like just one facilitator to 3 students. So you would have 10 facilitators with 30 girls, and that would be like a 2 days intensive workshop. So, I might not be able to give you a mind-blowing number right now, but the impact is there. I have a product from one of those events, and that was how I got started in my own tech journey. So that's an answer to that. Then, just to quickly touch on what Adrian was saying. So for parents, even with your phones, right? Children, you give them your phones to play snake games. There are free games like Scratch, for example, that you can give to your kids and start to teach them the concepts of programming. I think it's modeled in a game, and they can actually learn about programming. Because programming is not just writing code, there's a way programmers think, is also in the cognitive abilities. So you can start to expose your kids from a very early age how to think in that problem-solving capacity. So I also wanted to touch on one of the questions. Also I think that local companies, I know we're talking about Google and Dell and all these big companies, but even the small companies can go a long way in what they can do for initiatives or communities like this. I'll give you an example. So there was a time we were organizing an event, and because most times it's usually these big companies that actually offer to, give money or pay for feeding or do one thing. But you find out that Mama Biliki can actually donate 2 bags of pure water to that event, and it goes a long way.
or Mommy Bashira that sells rice can say, you know what, I will give each person 100 naira rice during the program, and it goes a long way in providing a conducive environment for these learners and these trainers. So not just big companies, but I want to task you, if you have people that have small businesses, that have small companies, ask them what are they doing to actually make sure that the leaders of tomorrow actually learn about technology.
One or two more questions from there.
There's what we call the Student Leadership Entrepreneurship Technological and Cultural Summit. And what we do there is we get student leaders and we teach them on tech. And you tie it with entrepreneurship. So you learn digital skills and some other soft skills in engineering. So we had a flagship program last year in Federal University of Technology, Mina. We were able to do that because we had a space here, because we leveraged on our strengths, which was the university there. So we had like 100 people that we trained at the start. So I'm actually coming from the angle of the academia that was raised earlier.
Okay.
So like, there are more ways where we can actually use the universities. A lot of opportunities are there, and the universities, like I can vouch for Upnorth, that are open for people to come in, to come and teach people based on tech.
Many times we just fight government needs to do this. We need to also become those who help government to mobilize, because we can give all the fantastic ideas to government. They also don't have the money to get this work done. So we have to also be part of the people who are mobilizing the resources to actually get these ideas to move into action. Many times again, just like you said in the academia, we need to also identify who are the few champions we can work with. Some of us know what it's like, those of us who actually still go through the hurdles to make sure we work with government schools. It is hectic, but we get it done. It's really about being steady, it's really about being persistent and not losing the passion. The truth of the matter is there's a high level of vulnerability in that sector. I work in Abuja with government schools in the capital city, and all these issues about access to internet devices, there are still issues we find in that space as well. You have girls who, you give them the computer, their hands are literally shaking because they just don't know where to start from. So it's really about being in that space where you're ready to go, really get our hands dirty on every side. This is doing the work, helping the government to mobilize, and actually supporting the government to get the work done.
Thank you very much. So she said collective. As a collective, we can do more. So let's push in for collective contribution to get things done. We can take more questions now. Time is fast spent, and on that note, we come to the end of the session. We really appreciate everyone that take our time to be part of this. We don't take this lightly. Thank you so much to come here from us, and we're open for collaborations, and you can reach out to us. pythonnigeria.org is the website. You could go in there. Then we have a PyCon conference that comes up every year. You could sign up for our mailing list. You could join our Slack channel. It's all on the website. So from there we could kickstart more conversation afterwards. Thank you once again for this insightful session.